Joining us, as he does every week, Scott Phillips, the Chief Investment Officer from Motley. Scott, it's a huge week for economic news. Let's start with interest rates on Tuesday. No one is expecting anything to change there, are they?
Yeah, Peter, good evening. That's the easy one to get through. No one's expecting a change at all. That's good and bad, I suppose, depending on what side of the ledger you're on. If you want more on your savings, you're probably disappointed, but the RBA is not going to move anytime soon. We'll be looking for the commentary, as always, from the RBA, the sense of how they're viewing the economy, and any sign that their expectations for the next rate rise in terms of the timing changed at all.
Tuesday, of course, is full of economic indicators with a swag of data being released, including manufacturing activity and business sales and profits. I assume positive news is expected on that front as well?
Right across the board on Tuesday, Peter, with one slight exception. So the good news is really great numbers expected across the board, business sales and profits, as you mentioned. Building permits is the one number we're expecting to be slightly negative, but it came off a stonkingly great number last month, up 17%. So to some degree, these numbers are really volatile because the absolute numbers we're talking about are relatively small, and a few different permits in one direction or the other does move these numbers around. So that one probably negative, but not a surprise. The rest positive, and again, signs of that ongoing recovery.
Scott, a ton of speculation surrounding Australia's economic growth. Wednesday, we find out with the national account figures.
And these should be positive, Peter. I'm always nervous coming into these sort of numbers because the expectations are good. And so there's kind of really only one way these numbers can go. If they don't deliver on expectations, that's probably to under-deliver. There's no real reason to expect that they will. Of course, the Victorian lockdown is outside that number, so it'll come down the track. But at the moment, there's no expectation, no reason to believe these numbers won't be decently positive, continuing that strong recovery from COVID.
Thursday, retail trade figures?
And they should be good as well. They come off a really good number last month. These bounce around a little bit as well. The real watch out, I think, is by sector now. So we're looking again at hospitality in particular and tourism more generally. We're looking for continued recovery there in the CBDs. Again, these numbers, I should say, won't include the current lockdown in Victoria. So we need to put that aside for next month. But hopefully we do get some sort of sense there's an ongoing momentum there, in particular in those two sectors that have been hardest hit by COVID.
And Scott, quickly before we go, what about the share market here tomorrow?
Looks like a mild positive, Peter, up just under 1/10%. We'll take that. That's a positive, and we'll hopefully start the day in the green.
Good on you, Scott Phillips from Motley. As always, terrific to have you on the late news. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter.